These are the Dragons. 5 multimillionaire investors on their way to the den. There, over the next 8 weeks, they'll once again make or break the business dreams of dozens of budding entrepreneurs.
Your product is ridiculous.
Which planet are you currently orbiting? Is it one I'm familiar with?
This is not a commercial opportunity.
Just listen to me, I'm getting really annoyed now.
I'm going to make an offer.
The Dragons know how to succeed. 5 of Britain's most enterprising and wealthy business people, they built up their fortunes from scratch. James Caan made his millions creating a global business in the recruitment industry. He now heads an international private equity firm. Glaswegian entrepreneur Duncan Bannatyne's £310 million business empire includes hotels, casinos and health clubs. Deborah Meaden earned her fortune in the holiday and leisure industry in the West Country. Theo Paphitis is a retail magnate who's transformed the fortunes of high street brands like Ryman, La Senza, Partners and Contessa. Peter Jones has built up a multi-million-pound empire with a business portfolio that ranges from telecom and leisure to property and media. In the den, the Dragons are ready to back the right businesses with their own money. But tonight, will anyone convince them to invest? Welcome back to Dragon's Den. Once again, nervous entrepreneurs are gathering here, waiting for the chance to pitch their business ideas and inventions to our multi-millionaire investors. Each entrepreneur thinks they have what it takes to make a fortune if they can just get the cash injection they need. But the rules of Dragon's Den say they have to get all the money they're asking for, or they get nothing at all. First to face the Dragons today is Jamie Turner from Cambridge. He and his colleagues have an unusual money-making proposal. They're looking for £75,000.
Hi, I'm Jamie Turner and I'm looking for £75,000 to record, promote and distribute the next Hamfatter album. Now, you'll get 20% of the royalties, of the physical sales and the digital sales of all future Hamfatter albums. This is Owen, the lead singer of Hamfatter.
Hello, I formed the band about 5 years ago. We've released 3 albums in that time, and the latest album had a budget of £6,000 for recording and marketing, and we made £12,500 off of that so far. Very importantly, it launched the band on the national scene, so we got played on Radio 1, on XFM, and on BBC 6 Music. We got rave reviews in NME, in The Sun, and in Metro magazine, and we released a single which ended the charts at number 54, peaked at number 13 in the indie charts, and that was in the same week that Razorlight, who are signed to the biggest record label in the world with a huge marketing budget, peaked at number 80 with their single release.
Now, the £75,000 will be used £10,000 for recording, £7,000 for video production, £13,000 for manufacturing, £30,000 for promotion, and £15,000 for advertising. Your investment is funding this next album, but you've got to remember that you will be seeing a percentage of all further Hamfatter albums. This is the band Hamfatter.
The journey's hard, a see-through plastic bag and no book to read. I spent some lonely hours and I start to think I spent my life in Gatwick, meet up with you, straight to the main stage to see Radiohead. We love the music, we get wrecked, Radiohead. We love the music, we get wrecked. And say again.
It's a den first. To raise £75,000 in return for 20% of future album sales, Hamfatter have gone where no rock band has gone before. But are they misdirected? Theo Paphitis wants to know.
Have a look around. Can you see Simon Cowell? No. So, you come to the den asking for something that would normally go to a record label or a talent show. We're going to be owning 20%, correct?
Yep.
What's different from a record label that would also take a big slug of your earnings on the basis they would have put up some cash to promote you and guarantee you?
Well, the way major record labels work, they give you an advance, like you would get if you were buying your house. And then over the years, you pay back your advance, like you would pay back your mortgage on your house. But at the end of the time, when you've paid off all of the loan, instead of you now owning your house, in a record label, they would still own all of your music.
So you released 3 albums. Tell me about those albums. What did they do?
Well, the first album sold out the run of 500 CDs and made a profit of £1,000. The second album, we made £2,000 out of it, and we had a single from that album which got to number 3 in the Austrian charts, oddly enough. And basically, after that, we took the £2,000 that we made from that, a £4,800 Arts Council grant, put that into the next album, and that's, you know, what we managed to achieve all of this national success.
What's your forecast on the next album?
In terms of sales?
Yeah.
Well, we would be getting 30,000 units manufactured.
You've never sold 30,000 units before, have you?
Well, we've never had a marketing budget above £1,750 before. Well, I can't emphasise more strongly how much of an effect the amount of money you put into marketing and advertising has.
The band seemed to have a confident grasp of business. Now one dragon investor wants to talk music.
Hi everyone, I'm Peter.
Hello.
What was the hit that you said that you had? It is a hit, isn't it? Top 50 or whatever it is. What was it?
Siget, the song that we just played you an extract from.
Oh, that was actually the hit.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And what about from the new album? What's the music going to be like?
Quite similar. Obviously...
Can you do it?
No, we haven't rehearsed it with the band, I'm afraid.
What you've just done is one thing.
Sure.
But you could actually turn your complete twist of music, and I could be investing in something that's very different to what you've just played, because I'm not getting any benefit from the previous albums. I'd like to hear, even if it takes 3 or 4 minutes, I'd just like to hear what I'm going to be investing in, what the sound is going to be like.
The best I could offer, I'm afraid, would be that we could knock up a rough demo for you and get it to you within a week.
Oh, you couldn't do it now?
No, sorry.
OK, that's a shame.
By not showcasing their future material, which is all that's on offer, Peter Jones' interest seems to have dampened. Deborah Meaden knows this sector and decides to test the duo.
Where does the music industry, it's a loaded question because I know exactly what the music industry is saying, where do they believe the future of the music industry is going to be making its money?
Definitely the still album sales. Yes, it's gone online and it's gone digital, but people are still buying them. I don't know.
I think the downloads
Actually,
are very
that's
important.
not right. What the music industry is saying is where they're going to be making their money is big sponsorships on big live deals, not through the record sales themselves.
Right.
But you're not offering us that. You're offering us royalties from the sales of the music.
To be honest, I've seen a lot of bands come through many venues, and a few of them have been sponsored. But to be honest, some of the sponsors are quite questionable on the band.
James, please don't let yourself down by making stuff up, because that feels like, well, honestly, what you're doing at the moment. It's not in the sales of the records.
Deborah Meaden has previously invested in a music download business and knows that she won't make a return from a deal based on future music sales alone. Duncan Bannatyne has been listening quietly to his rival Dragon's interrogation of the band.
So when will your 4th album be ready, if you got the money today?
If we got the money today, 6 months.
Sale price?
Per unit.
You just, OK, the total revenue, the total sale price, the total money coming in from selling the 30,000 albums that you're going to make?
The total amount would be... It was...
280,000. That's from the physical sales, from the digital sales and the royalties generated from that album in the first year.
So what percentage of that 280,000 comes back to the investor?
That would be the 20%, so that would be 56,000.
I tell you what, Owen, I'm going to make you an offer, okay? I want you to listen to this offer very carefully, okay? For an investment of £75,000, right, I would expect to get 50% of all your future royalties, royalties from historic albums, royalties from gigs, live performances and endorsements until the £75,000 was recouped. After which, I would drop my percentage to 10%.
In a shrewd move designed to outmaneuver other Dragon investors, Duncan Bannatyne has created a clever equity offer in which his stake drops from half to just 10% after he's recouped his money. But he wants back catalogue and all future revenues included. Will any of the other Dragons be prepared to enter into a bidding war with him?
I think for me, I don't think I can compete with Duncan's offer. I'm out.
Thank you.
I think we've got a deal, guys.
Well, hold on, I haven't finished yet.
Well, you're not going to offer, you're not going to better it.
No, I'm not.
You want to take 10%,
You're absolutely right.
so you can't better
you're
it.
going to have to
You're not
decide
showing me.
whether or not you feel there's any other kind of differential. Duncan, thank you very much for your structure, because it's a very good structure, but I won't be offering you 10%, I can tell you now. To actually finally drop it to 20% is probably where it should ultimately be.
What do you offer?
My brother-in-law's a record producer. My sister was head of PR for AOL. We own a music download site. You've got to make your mind up between the value that might or might not be added by any particular Dragon.
So I'll share that offer with Deborah. You would get Deborah and you'd get me, assuming you're happy with that, of course.
Well, it kind of makes sense because of the download.
We throw PR into the pot, download facilities into the pot, and our expertise.
It's a confident counter-offer. Deborah Meaden and Theo Paphitis have mimicked Duncan Bannatyne's payback deal. They're demanding a full 10% more than their rival, though, arguing that their joint experience in the music industry justifies the extra equity. Now, will Peter Jones enter the fray?
I am going to make you an offer. I'm going to offer you the full amount of money, 75,000, and I want in return 30%. It's a very straightforward deal. I am then really incentivised from day one to year 5. Unlike the other deals, I know people in this marketplace and I'd love to work with you.
Jamie and Owen have a tough decision to make. Duncan Bannatyne's deal means sacrificing a smaller stake in Hamfatter, but the other 3 Dragons have more contacts in the music business. The pair turn first to Duncan Bannatyne.
Thank you very much for your offer, but we feel that the experience that the other Dragons could offer us and the help that they could offer us there makes it worthwhile taking the not as good deal by the numbers.
Well, you're making a big mistake, but carry on.
Would it be out of the question to bring Peter in on the deal?
So you want me to join forces with Theo and Deborah?
So that we can have the full experience of all 3 of you.
I'm going to say no. I think 2 works great as a team. If you had 3 of us, I think it would be quite difficult to coordinate. And also, to be perfectly blunt, I have huge access to everybody at Sony. I'm not saying you and I won't go there, but we're talking about influences and getting you out there. So I think I could actually do that anyway.
We've got
Is
a
it
lot to
right
talk
if
about.
we have...
Have a complex.
Have a 3 offers to consider.
In the den, it's every dragon for themselves, so Hamfatter still have 2 offers on the table.
Theopophytus and Deborah Meaden, they are very keen on marketing.
The download site.
Yeah, and the download site, which we could get plastered on top of.
Deborah Meaden and Theopophytus want half their earnings, but are willing to drop to 20% after recouping their investment.
What was the thing? They wanted 50%. And then... Yeah, but then...
Peter Jones simply wants 30% of all future income.
Peter's time, just because he's got a lot to invest. Right. But he does have a whole office.
We should have a little handshake.
Save it for the pub.
The band have made up their minds. Will they leave the den with 2 dragons, 1 dragon, or no dragons at all?
Peter.
We'd like to accept your original offer. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Cheers. Great. Well, guys.
Hamfatter have done it. They've given away a lot more than they wanted, but hope to have gained a very powerful and well-connected partner in Peter Jones in return. Guys, very well done. Are you happy?
Absolutely ecstatic.
No doubts at all?
No.
And why did you take Peter's offer? Because I thought, as you did it, that you were going to take Theo and Deborah.
I think we talked and decided that essentially the experience that Peter could offer us was just too good to miss.
Very well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The dragons never know who or what is going to enter the den next. This 22-year-old Matthew Ryan from Fife wanted £81,000 for 5% of his company to develop his lean-on cushion.
It's a travel pillow, but with a difference. We've got a non-slip pad attached to the back of it. You place the cushion up against the window, the non-slip pad stops it from moving around, you rest your head on, and it makes for a nice, comfy journey.
Deborah Meaden was distinctly unimpressed.
There's not really a lot to demonstrate, is it? Because it's a kind of
It's a very
cushion
simple
for
product.
leaning your head against on the window.
Yes.
Your product is ridiculous.
I
Your
disagree.
idea, don't disagree, it's
do
a fact,
disagree.
it is ridiculous. It's a cushion. Don't waste any more time.
But Matthew really fell down when it came to remembering one particular figure.
Matthew, would you value this business at?
If I can hit 0.5% of that
No, I
market,
don't want all that.
generates-
What's the valuation?
The pre-tax profit of the...
Sorry, no, Matthew, what is the number?
Well, this product can sell millions.
I'll give you a hint, Matthew. It's a number that he's looking for. No words at all.
Okay.
Just a number.
Okay, 5 million.
Did you do maths at school?
Yes.
What grade did you get?
I got a C. I wasn't really a fan of maths.
The dragons had heard enough.
What do you do for a living?
I work in Asda.
Have you thought of leaving Asda?
I would like to pursue a business career, yes.
Don't.
You've actually wasted my time. I'm out.
The dragons love innovative ideas. So will Barry Ritchie and Paul Lobo from Brighton make the impact they're hoping for and get backing of £125,000 for their product?
Hello, Dragons. My name is Paul Lobo. This is Barry Ritchie. Our company is Air Oasis Limited. The purpose of us being here is we want £125,000 of your money, and in return, we will give you 10% equity in our company. Our product produces water out of air, and Barry is now going to give you a brief presentation on our product.
Hello, Dragons. What I'm going to do first of all is just give you a very quick scientific experiment just to show you what the end product that comes out of our machine, which is the pure drinking water itself. Paul, if you'd like to pour me a glass of tap water from there. I'm going to take a glass from our machine, which we'll come into shortly. And this is water that's been made out of the air in the last hour. What we're actually going to do very quickly is just pop this electrolyser in, which is going to pass a small electric current through this water, and shortly that will come up as a colour, and it will show you basically what's in this water. What we're looking for in the ideal water, it comes up yellow. This just shows that there's separated mineral grains in the water. With the other water in which we have here, this will go probably obviously a different colour, and it will show what's in there. As we're leaving that to fizz for a little while, I'll just tell you a little bit about this machine. We have the exclusive sole distribution rights to sell this machine throughout the United Kingdom. We also have Iran, Syria, as well as Sri Lanka, India and Nepal. The air is sucked in through the side here. It runs through a condensing unit like a dehumidifier. They are then passed through a 7-stage filtration system and a UV light to kill any bacteria whatsoever that's in the water, providing you with the purest, freshest drinking water on the planet. £4 million a day is being spent on bottled water in this country. We believe by educating the public and showing them our water is much better than bottled water, and we believe that this machine, with its electricity and running costs that produce water at 7p a litre, is going to change the way in which people buy water in this country. This is from the tap. That's what you clean your vegetables in, and this is our water. Ice cold, just with separated mineral grains. And we're welcome to take any questions you may have.
Bold claims about the purity and great taste of their water, ambitious plans for market penetration. Barry Ritchie and Paul Lobo's pitch for £125,000 of investment in their company Air Oasis certainly hasn't lacked confidence. But what's behind their confident claims? Theo Pafitis wants to know.
Barry, Paul, I'm Theo.
Hi Theo, nice to meet you.
7p a litre.
Yes.
Sounds cheap when you compare it with bottled water.
Yes.
But it's not cheap when you compare it to just filter, because there's units like that that just filter existing tap water.
Oh, without question, without question.
The difference is these don't need a water supply, so they will be very good in humid countries.
Without question.
Where you can't get water to a unit.
Most definitely.
So the UK market's not actually going to be a very good market for this, is it?
Well, I think it is, actually. There's a lot of people that are interested in reducing their carbon footprint at the moment.
Talk to me about it.
£48 million.
How does this reduce my carbon footprint?
OK, let's just look at the 808,000 machines that are out there at the moment, with big plastic bottles on the top. The plastic, there's no plastic, there's no bottled water, there's no diesel, there's no John in his shorts coming up to get all the bottles. So the whole process...
Mine are plumbed in. I've already dealt with it. They're all plumbed in.
OK, well then...
No, Johnny doesn't turn up in his shorts.
OK.
Right, it doesn't deliver anything.
But you're comparing a Mini with a Rolls-Royce, because at the end of the day, the water this produces, this is not Sainsbury's vodka, this is the best vodka.
The Dragons are feeling the full force of Barry's bullish sales pitch. James Caan decides to seek refuge in the company's finances.
Are you renting these, leasing these or selling these?
Selling.
What's
no
the price?
renting, no leasing. We're selling this. This machine sells at £699.
Yeah.
We have a domestic unit that converts tap water into pure water, which we're selling at £500.
And what is it costing you to buy these?
They're coming into me at £318 into the UK.
OK, and you're going to retail that to the end user at
£699. That's using a direct sales force.
By selling direct to consumers, Barry and Paul are confident of healthy margins. But Duncan Bannatyne thinks he's spotted a flaw in their plans.
No, tell you what I don't like about this product is something you said in your pitch. What you're going to do is educate the public. You haven't explained how you're going to educate the public, and you're not going to educate the public. The public are going to continue using tap water or drinking bottled water.
Duncan, as soon as you do this test, which is very visual,
Paul,
it really, that's the education.
Paul, you can't travel around the country, knocking on people's doors, going in with 2 glasses of water and saying to people, look at the difference, buy one of these machines. You can't do that.
Yes, we can.
You can't educate the public.
We've just got 100 kits in little cases. This is like the Kirby vacuum cleaner. This is the bugs on the bed under the microscope. We've got 300 people signed up already to go out door to door on commission only, part-time, hairdressers, mothers.
Barry, the point I'm making isn't that you can't go around knocking on doors. The point I'm making is you can't afford to go around knocking on doors. There isn't enough money in it to go around knocking on doors and saying to people, look, will you let me come in and show you these 2 glasses of water and show you the difference, and then you can buy my machine for 500 quid.
OK, but there is, because it doesn't cost any money. We've bought all the kits. The people are taken on a part-time commission-only basis. They get £100 a sale. They do 3 in a week. They get 150 per sale. It's good old-fashioned pyramid, multi-level direct market.
Barry.
Barry, have you ever sold Kirby vacuum cleaners?
Surprise, surprise.
There you go.
Kirby. I've done the lot.
I
16
had to
years old. I was
ask
the top salesman at 17.
Barry, you run the risk of talking yourself back down those stairs without an investment.
Okay.
The reason I asked if you've been a Kirby selling person is that I could have told you were, because actually what you used to do is stand in people's room, bombard them and barrage them exactly the way you're trying to do with us now until they capitulate and buy that carpet cleaner. I've seen the selling techniques, which I have to say really, really annoys me. You are talking about a pyramid selling scheme. I've got to tell you, for me, that is a combination that I would run a mile from.
Okay, that's fine.
So I have no reason to invest. I'm out.
Okay.
The atmosphere in the den is darkening. A furious Deborah Meaden wants nothing to do with the duo. And she's not the only dragon to be alienated by the pitch.
As a business proposition, does this excite me for £150,000? No. Working with Barry would just drive me crazy. I don't think I could handle it. And for those reasons, guys, I'm out.
Okay.
2 dragons are out. So far, Barry's been dominating proceedings. But Peter Jones wants to know more about his business partner.
Paul, how do you work with this guy?
Very well. I love his enthusiasm.
No. I get Barry. I don't get you.
Leave her in
do you
the
do
product?
everything Barry says?
No, not at all.
That's the benefit. When 2 men in a business always agree, one of them is unnecessary.
Paul, how much money have you made? Have you got money to put into it?
Yes, I have. I put in £150,000.
So you put in 150,000 of your own cash?
Yes.
And Barry?
I'm about 50 and about $1 million in hard work.
Have you got any more money, Paul?
Of course I've got more money.
How much more money have you got?
Well, I don't think that concerns you.
It does concern me.
How much money have you got?
Probably about 10 million in the bank, let's say.
Well, I don't think that's a valid question.
Well, I'll tell you why it's a valid question. If you've got the money, why aren't you putting the bloody money on the
Let us
table?
explain why.
To explain?
We want your expertise, your knowledge, so that we can really go...
Well, why should I give you money for you to get knowledge from me?
Well, we're not a charity. We're not going to let you have equity.
What do you mean you're not a charity? You want knowledge from me and my money?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Well,
Absolutely, that's why we're here.
I haven't got mug written over my forehead, you know.
An enraged Peter Jones has blasted the duo. The dragons are clearly infuriated by the entrepreneurs themselves.
Barry, can you give him a glass of water, please?
Certainly.
Barry and Paul's only hope now is to salvage their pitch by proving their water tastes as good as they say.
Barry, it tastes terrible.
It tastes terrible.
Well, I've had all these conversations, but nobody's sort of tasting the water.
Has it been that long?
Taste that water.
That's because it's warm, that's why.
Unusual taste.
Put something in this.
I haven't.
There's
You just
something.
gave me it out of there.
Don't be
Give me a
ridiculous.
clean glass.
No way. There's something in it.
There's nothing in it. Use your glass and go and get a drink of that water.
Mayhem erupts in the den.
That's got nothing to do with the cold. It's got an aftertaste.
The dragons declare Barry and Paul's water to be totally unpalatable.
It's revolting.
My kids will throw that back at you.
Theo Paphitis demands an explanation.
Taste it. Does it taste terrible or not?
It doesn't taste terrible, but it certainly doesn't taste as good as it should do.
It doesn't
but the
taste
machine
like
has
water.
Not, but it's a brand spanking new machine that needed to be flushed and everything else properly. This is why it's here.
It needs to be set up for a longer period of time.
Exactly. And it takes
in order
4 or 5 hours to get it working properly.
So what is the temperature of that, Barry?
21 degrees.
Just listen to me, 'cause I'm getting really annoyed now. I'm complaining not about the temperature, but the fact it's got a terrible, appalling aftertaste. So don't make excuses about the temperature. I'm out.
It's all but over for Barry and Paul. They've been blasted by Theo Paphitis. Now Duncan Bannatyne and Peter Jones step forward to have their say.
You know, the thing is, what gets me is this. You did all these tests on this water to show your water is the best.
Yes.
Then I tested your water.
Yes.
And it's rubbish. We all tested it. We all said the same thing. And then you said that's because that machine hasn't been flushed.
In order for you to see our machine in its full operation, it would have been fair for this machine to be here overnight. Then it would have been...
Well, you've gone from... You've gone from justice. You've gone from an hour and a half to all night now. You know, but it doesn't really answer my question. And, you know, I'm not going to invest in it, so I'm out.
Paul, Barry, you've basically brought a product here that lives or dies on the back of the quality that it produces.
Can I say, in all the times that we've tasted that water, amongst you dragons, that's the first time that's been like this. That's all I can say to you.
I think enough has been said by everybody else, and I don't think you're here necessarily to be insulted. So, good luck in your endeavours, but I'm not going to invest in the business, and I'm out.
Okay. Okay.
Barry and Paul have felt the full force of the dragon's wrath. It may have been a confident start, but it takes more than a forceful sales pitch to part the dragons from their cash. Barry, Paul, what did you think of that?
Well, we knew, you know, what the dragons are like.
Did you know that it wasn't going to taste good with that amount of standing time beforehand?
I did. As soon as I looked at the reading on it, the water was 25 degrees. It was too hot. It should be 4.
But Theo kept pointing out it wasn't the temperature he was worried about. So does the colder temperature disguise the weird flavour?
No, it doesn't actually disguise it, but as the filters are working, the temperature comes down as it passes through the filters.
So it hadn't gone through the filters enough time?
It's not enough time.
OK.
Okay.
Well done.
All the very best.
Thank you.
Every entrepreneur who enters the den believes their idea will make millions. Al Jimenez, Kate Ingram and baby Ewan wanted £150,000 to market their baby station invention.
One day, whilst watching my son, I noticed there was nothing there to support him. The mum improvised and they surround the baby with pillows, and it just doesn't work.
The den's youngest ever entrepreneur momentarily softened the dragons.
Sorry, I'm not listening. I'm completely taken with that little boy down there.
You kind of don't need to sell this one, do you?
It sells itself, it's right.
But even Ewan couldn't distract them for long.
Have you approached any of the larger retailers?
We've seen people from major retailers come and see us at the trade shows and show an interest in the product, but we haven't had anything in sort of from that.
Why?
I don't know.
And in the end, the dragons dished out some tough love.
There is a gap in the market for a product like this, but I don't think that there's a market in the gap.
Everybody agrees that it's a nice product, but it is not quite good enough to sell.
I disagree with what you've just said,
Okay,
totally.
I wish you wouldn't disagree with me, because you can't sell it, and that's why it's not a business, and I'm out.
Next into the den was Liverpudlian Barry Piakovsky, looking for £100,000 of investment for his strike trainer, a high-tech punch bag.
Any strike from any direction, it measures it on an incremental scale, which can be used to calculate how many calories that you burn off.
One dragon clearly had some frustrations to work out.
He's already knocked him out.
You've knocked him, it's a cow.
He's down, he's down.
Theo is dead. Floats like a butterfly, stings like Theo.
But when the gloves came off, Theo Paphitis wasn't so keen.
There is a product that already exists on the market, which is dead simple. You hit it in the right place, the lights go on. I'm sure they could put numbers on that, depending on how many times you've hit it.
It doesn't measure the energy, and they haven't done it, and I've filed a patent to say that I'm the only one that can do it.
In the end, it was left to health club mogul Duncan Bannatyne to deliver the knockout blow.
I think there's probably 30 different makes of treadmill. They all have a separate patent number. It doesn't stop anybody competing with you. So if I was you, I'd give up. I'm not going to invest, and I'm out.
Only one pitch tonight has seen the dragons part with their cash. Will any of these plucky entrepreneurs and inventors manage to convince our multimillionaires to invest?
I don't think you really believe in this.
Your idea is appalling. It's not going back to the drawing board. It's scrap it and do something else.
I am incredibly impressed by you.
Now, there are no written prompts allowed in the den, so it's important that entrepreneurs make their pitches as polished as possible. Next to face this challenge are John Foster Smith and Ros Adams from Kenilworth, looking for an investment of £50,000.
Good morning. My name's John Foster Smith. It's 2 o'clock in the morning and I can't get a wink of sleep because my partner, Ros Adams, is taking up all of the bed.
No, I'm not. You are.
We think that at some point in their relationship, every couple will have this problem.
But we've got a product that's going to solve this dispute.
It's a ley line sheet. The ley line is the line that runs down the middle of the fitted sheet, and it's not uncomfortable to sleep on, but you can feel it in the dark with your fingers.
We're looking for £50,000 for 20% of the business. We're looking to develop licensing agreements with the major department stores, and we're also looking to trial our own short run of production.
Now, there's just one more question. Which of you would like to get into bed with us? Now, have you got any questions for us?
Business partners Ros Adams and John Foster Smith's playful pitch for £50,000 has left the Dragons rather bemused and apparently unamused. Peter Jones is first to interrogate the couple.
Hello,
Hi.
I'm Peter. Which one of you came up with the idea to put a dividing line between a sheet in a bed?
This is my idea.
I'm frightened to ask, but I'm going to ask it. What do you do for a living?
I'm a designer. I've run a small graphic design company for 9 years. The idea, I would say, came to me at 3 in the morning when my dear wife was taking up all of the bed.
So the idea came to you when your wife crept across that halfway house?
She does that.
Most men would get excited by that, but you didn't.
I do, but you know that thing where you each get your hands and you're sitting in bed and you're going, you're taking up this much and you're taking up well, this is the answer to the question.
My problem is my wife doesn't cross the line enough. Can't you invent something that makes her cross it more?
I hope that this wouldn't
stop
stop
any... Just because my opening shot is I look at it and I think you look pretty sane to me, but I think the product's ridiculous. I don't want to say it's ridiculous without trying it. So do you mind if I go up there with Theo Paphitis and try
By all means, by all means.
Should we avert our eye?
We're really going to get
So
Peter Jones and Theo Paphitis have decided to test out the ley line.
No. Spoons this way or what?
But it's clear that investment opportunities are not at the forefront of their minds.
Do we have to take our clothes off?
If you like, but the line's not getting in your way.
There's a mischievous mood in the den.
You feel that? Can you feel it? What's it doing for you?
But multimillionaire James Caan wants to get back to business.
I think we've seen enough, haven't we?
OK, John, have you sold any of these?
No.
OK, so it's just an idea?
Yes.
Yeah.
And just to make it really clear for me, the basic idea is it's a sheet with a line down the middle?
Yes.
It could stretch to a duvet cover as well. The patent covers any bedclothes, really.
Are you trying to say that you've got a patent and international rights to stop anybody else putting a line down the middle of the bed?
Yes. Yes.
You have?
I've got a British patent.
How much have you spent on that?
I think it's £135 for a year, for the first year.
Sorry, you found a patent lawyer who'll get you a patent for that for £135?
Well, it's not a completed patent, it's a patent that's been applied for and we need to do the search.
OK, could I just tell you how far apart it is between a patent application for £135 and a patent?
Deborah Meaden is quick to expose John and Ros's business naivety, but a perplexed Theo Paphitis still doesn't understand the ley line.
Is this an alternative to contraception? I mean, what are we doing here?
What we found is that there was some research done in 2006 in the States, and they found that of the 50 couples they interviewed, it was one of the things that most of the couples did have was this territorial issue. So what we're trying to do is give the public a product that allows them an opportunity to resolve it without a row.
Ros, they don't come much bigger than Mrs. P, right? And, you know, nothing gives me greater pleasure than either she or I cuddle up to her. And so why would I want to avoid that?
I think you're a lucky man. I think most
relationships
couples
don't have that.
Not according to the studies that we've read.
Guys, I just really believe you need to draw the line here. Oh. And give up on it. I'm out.
Thank you.
The Dragons can't take this business seriously, and James Caan just isn't buying it.
Have you shown it to anybody that's placed an order?
We've shown it to friends.
Yes.
Always a great place to start.
Yes.
And they said it was amazing, I'm sure.
They love it.
OK, can I just tell you where I am, John? What I would say to you is go and target all the obvious customers that you think would buy something like this. And I think if you get sufficient orders, that's a great way of saying, is this going to work or not? But I think to be coming to an investor to ask for money when you haven't really tested the product in a commercial environment doesn't show me a lot of entrepreneurial savvy. And I think for those reasons, I'm out.
John, Ros, I disagree with what James was said, but I wouldn't even bother wasting the time of talking to a retailer about this product. This is never going to be a business. So, for that reason, I'm out.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
James Caan and Peter Jones are the latest Dragons to decline the opportunity of investing £50,000 into a novelty bedsheet. Deborah Meaden is dumbfounded.
What amazes me is you're standing here and presenting this as a serious product. You're going to sell those at what?
17.
We think that if a sheet was on the shelf and the same sheet was next to it, but it had the ley line down the sheet, we think that would persuade
No,
somebody
but
to buy
my
that
point
sheet.
is it will never be on a shelf with a sheet. It'll end up as a joke on a website. Because I can tell you, as a joke product, you might have a bit of a market there, but this is not a commercial opportunity. So I'm afraid I'm out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, the other 4 Dragons are out.
You can move in now.
Cleared the way for you, Duncan.
Obviously, they've missed the opportunity, haven't they? It's a great opportunity, isn't it?
We've got a strong creative partnership. We've got other things on the boil. I've got a great portfolio,
See, I was looking for you. Yes, Duncan, they're all wrong. But I didn't get that enthusiasm because I don't think you really believe in this.
I think that lots of people would buy this. I'd buy this.
No, I don't think you really do believe in it. Somewhere in the back of your brain, it really knows, the back end of your brain knows this is a silly idea. And you should bring that forward and you should really accept that because it is a silly, silly idea. So for that reason, I'm out.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
2 of the Dragons may have accepted Ros and John's offer to get into bed with them, but in the end, none wanted to stump up the cash. The entrepreneurs are leaving the den empty-handed. Other entrepreneurs who tried and failed in the den included 25-year-old Matt Keppel from Surrey, pitching for his company, which offered social networking opportunities to graduates across the country.
Graduations is a portfolio of services for graduates once they've finished university. I'm looking for £70,000 to really take it to become the rite of passage for graduates.
Matt clearly hit a nerve with father of 6, Duncan Bannatyne.
For the last 20 years, I've worked extremely hard to put my children through university and through college. Through my taxes, I'm also funding other people to go through schools. And so what you're saying is that's not enough. You want me now to put £70,000 into a fund so that these graduates, with the education that I didn't get, can go out and have a party. And you really think I would contribute?
Fellow dragon Theo Paphitis just couldn't get the figures to add up.
How much money did you make last year?
The profit has been £900.
900. And you're valuing the business at?
Just over £900,000.
Matt, which planet are you currently orbiting? Is it one I'm familiar with?
Ultimately, the dragons didn't let Matt graduate from the den with honours.
Your idea is appalling. It's not going back to the drawing board, it's scrap it and do something else.
Craig Halsall and Greg Pearson from Preston came looking for £85,000 for a 20% stake of Paradise Panels, garden fences with a difference.
As you can see, this is a typical dreary garden fence, unless you have something like this.
Craig and Greg were offering to brighten up the back gardens of Britain.
They're durable, reusable, easy to fix and easy to change, and we'll show you now.
But the dragons struggled to share their vision.
Please tell me you're not suggesting that I put this picture all the way down the side of my
this
fence.
picture. You might have your favourite family portrait that you could put on a panel.
Absolutely. It's the thought of having that on someone's fence.
Oh, thank God you're sane.
I'm out.
And in the end, Theo Paphitis sent the duo packing.
Guys, I hope you don't take offence.
Oh, no, it's worse than mine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll leave on that note.
Philistines.
Some entrepreneurs discover how not to run a business by working for other people and learning from their mistakes. Julia Charles and Amy Goldthorpe hope their previous experience in the nightclub and promotions industry will help them turn their company into a success.
Hello Dragons, my name's Amy Goldthorpe. Don't be afraid of what you see here today. We are D4M Limited. We're here today to ask for £75,000 for a 20% stake in D4M Limited.
Hello Dragons, my name's Julia Charles. I founded the company in 2002. I have amazing passion for entertainment. Whilst working for other agencies within the entertainment industry, I felt that I could do better. D4M Limited currently has 4 members of staff and is turning over £225,000. It's weird, it's wonderful, and it's out-of-the-box, bespoke thinking entertainment.
Our specialist acts include our human trees, our human tables, our 2-metre high champagne glass, our aerial swing. We've also got crazy, weird and wonderful walkabouts, such as our disco ball walkabout, our dance faders and our chandelier ladies. Dance With Me Promotions has worked for brands such as Ferrari, the Whittleby Hall chain, Asda, and also has done celebrity children's parties.
I'd now like to thank you for your time and welcome any questions that you have. Thank you.
It's certainly an eye-catching presentation from Julia Charles and Amy Goldthorpe, who are seeking a £75,000 investment for 20% of their events company, D4M. Theo Paphitis wants to know more about the unusual props they brought into the den.
Talk to us about the tree. There's somebody sitting in there.
Yeah. Wave your arms, Red.
It's a girl.
Yes.
It seems terribly uncomfortable.
No, it's okay. It's okay for the time we do it.
How long?
It's really fun, actually.
Talking to a tree.
I know.
Red the tree. How long do you normally hide in those bushes?
It varies for different events. It could be up to an hour, 40 minutes, it depends. It's good 'cause it is really fun, it's enjoyable because you get different people walking past and you get all the different reactions.
Sure,
you know, you could jump out and stuff.
So you can handle about an hour and a half, you say?
Yeah, I could.
And how about you?
Roughly the same.
Before you start getting cramped?
Yeah.
In a den first, Theo Paphitis has been getting business information from a talking tree. James Caan has questions of his own.
How does it work? For example, if I wanted to hire that tree for a day, because I was doing a party somewhere, what would I pay for that?
On average, you pay around $300 to $320 per tree. We've got 2 trees, because they work really well on either side of the door.
And your cost against that is your staff wages, which is how much?
From anything from £100 to £150.
So you would make 400 quid on that as a margin. And what about the table?
Our tables go out at £275, which includes staff costs.
Includes the staff costs?
Yes, it does.
And that's for how long?
We always hire the tables out as a meet and greet act. So they do 45 minutes as meet and greet, which champagne canapes, and then also as well, occasionally we get them on the dance floor and they dance around, get people up. It's good fun, it really is so.
And what are the bookings looking like going forward in the next 3 months? What are you anticipating you're going to bill in the next quarter?
Oh, well, we currently at the moment, the minimum that we're turning over at the moment is 25. And
£1,000 a month?
Yes, July, for example, we're refusing work.
Impressive sounding turnover figures are one thing, but Deborah Meaden is an expert in this area and wants to interrogate the couple on their bottom line.
Have you made any money?
Yes, we have.
So what does that mean in profit?
We've turned over 225,000 with a gross of 110, and we've made a net profit of 24,000.
Julia, Amy, I think you're very good, I have to say, and this is absolutely a sphere that I understand. But I am worried that it's not going to be a big enough business. I'm not going to get my return at the level that I want to.
Okay.
So I'm afraid I'm out.
Losing such an expert dragon is a serious setback for Julia and Amy. Will Peter Jones see more potential in their... business?
How old are you?
I'm 27.
How old are you, Amy? It's Amy, isn't it?
Nearly 21.
So you're 21?
Nearly,
and,
yeah.
And table?
Yeah.
And tree?
22.
So you're actually a very young, refreshing team then. And how do you go out and get business?
To date, we've actually only gained business on word of mouth. Now we want to focus on having someone that's dedicated on attending networking meetings, pushing us forward, actually having someone now that is solely focused on sales and marketing and media. And we will generate more. This is just on word of mouth.
Julia is standing her ground, but has she done enough to persuade any of the remaining dragons to invest?
I tell you what I'd do, Julia. I would like to make you an offer, and I'll give you half the money for 20%.
Half the money?
Yeah, so 37,000 for 20%, yeah.
James Caan has offered the duo half the money, but under the rules of the den, they must secure the full amount they came for, or they'll still leave the den with nothing.
James's offer is completely worthless unless another dragon also offers you half the money. So just to get things rolling, I'm going to match James's offer. So you've now got an offer of £75,000 for 40% of the company.
And let me tell you, between me and Duncan, this business will just be something else.
Right, Red?
Exactly.
Asking the truth.
Oh, well, I never thought I'd be taking advice from a tree. This is just completely insane.
D4M now have a full offer, but accepting would mean sacrificing 40% of the business, double what they had originally wanted to give away. But two other dragons are still in.
Julia, Amy, hi. I think what they've offered is fairly fair. And I was thinking, do I want to compete with the offer? And I'll be perfectly honest, I've got a business-led Red Essays, which I own with Theo, which is very much in this experience marketplace. And we actually have a circus investment on Dragon's Den together. And I can see a very big synergy between the two businesses. I would be willing to offer you exactly the same offer that you've had from Duncan and James, if Theo's willing to offer the same.
I am incredibly impressed by you.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
On that basis, I too then will offer you £37,500 for 20%.
Peter Jones and Theo Paphitis have gone head-to-head with Duncan Bannatyne and James Caan. Can Julia and Amy now turn the rivalry to their advantage and drive the dragons down on their equity demands?
Can I ask whether you'd be prepared to negotiate? Sorry.
I mean, just, you know, as you probably know, I mean, my main focus is I primarily invest in people. You know, my strategy, is to develop you into the business that you've created. You know, this is your passion, it's your brand. What you're looking for is that financial investment that's going to help you achieve your ambition and your goal. I think our role really is to help facilitate you achieving that with both capital and resource, depending on what you need.
I have to tell you that I deal with two of the country's largest activity sellers. Two companies that both separately make red letter days look like a minnow. It's tiny in comparison to it.
He's not very good with numbers.
I'll tell you what I'll do you. I guarantee you, and what...
Empty room, filled it up, talk is cheap, listen up. I don't know where we went wrong, but I feel I'm shaking these walls, yeah. Nothing safe, gotta take cover. Instead of love, we just make glitter. Running and running, yeah, we got off track. Now we under attack.
said isn't true, I'll give you the 75 grand.
Okay.
James Caan and Duncan Bannatyne are determined to clinch the deal, but their argument has riled Peter Jones.
I'm not going to sell Theo and I just don't believe it's necessary. However, what I will do is do something one or two people haven't done, and that's deal in fact. The two companies that Duncan mentioned could be purchased out of Theo and I's combined working capital, not wealth, working capital of our businesses. We could acquire both those companies in a heartbeat. The other fact of the matter is, by working with Theo and I, we're in it, we live it, we breathe it, and we own the UK's largest experience company. We do not have connections to introduce you to them, we run them.
Could you give me a minute? Sorry.
Yeah, no, you should.
Go back and have a chat.
Thank you.
Tensions are running high in the den, but none of the rival dragons will reduce the stake they want in the company.
What the hell are we doing?
It's an agonising moment and has left Julia and Amy in a real quandary.
So they're trying to glamour us up, but we've got a few practicalities.
I think you should just go for what your heart says.
Okay.
And what your business is.
Okay.
The duo have made their decision.
Thank you for your time. First of all, thank you, Peter and Theo. I would like to say that today has been an amazing experience, but we'd actually like to take up James and Duncan's offer. But thank you so much, and
you're welcome.
If you're
no, good luck to you. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
In a nail-biting climax to negotiations, Julia and Amy have opted to work with James Caan and Duncan Bannatyne. They've given away 40% of their company, but leave the den with £75,000. Very well done. How are you feeling?
Oh, shocked, really.
This is superb.
Now, to be brutally honest, you didn't really negotiate very hard, because you could have tried to play them off against each other a bit.
Okay.
Oh,
Come
no.
here today, though, just thinking, just let me get through it alive. And to have that scenario was just like, oh, it's dreams.
It's been an extraordinary first day in the den. We've seen the Dragons at their competitive best, trying to make a deal with Julia Charles's events company, and we've seen a record-making investment between Peter Jones and his new business partners, Hamfat. To hear more from the entrepreneurs about their time in the den, or to see my interviews with the Dragons, go to bbc.co.uk/dragonsden. Goodbye. Next time on Dragon's Den, find out why Theo Paphitis sees red.
Get out of here. Go away. Get out.
And discover which of the entrepreneurs gets to see the colour of the dragon's money.
I'm going to make you an offer.
Tonight, a handshake that could make history in Zimbabwe. Can Robert Mugabe and Morgan Tsvangirai agree to share power? And we put Channel 4 head-to-head with a climate change scientist who says their documentary was dangerous nonsense.
Newsnight on BBC 2 at 10:30 after Would I Lie to You? Next.